It was 1979 when we first set foot as students into the halls of Annandale High School. The 70s.
The last was in the 70s.
The next 4 years creeped by, to me at least, as we made our way toward that finish line of getting our diplomas from Mr. Finch in that great congressional hall.
Oh my gosh.
On June, I'm competing with the slideshow over here.
It's Constitutional Hall.
I wrote this speech. You guys aren't paying attention.
Yes, we are.
As we made our way across the stage in Congressional Hall on June 2nd, 1983 to get our diplomas from Mr. Finch. Over 40 years ago, those first 4 years seemed to go by so slowly, and the last 40 seemed to go by in an instant for me.
It was to me. Same here.
So why did that happen? I mean, they say that time speeds up as you get older, because every year is a shorter segment of your life the longer you live. Makes sense to me. So that means, where's Maria?
Right here.
Lee, we're going to have to start planning for the 50th on Monday, because it's going to be in like 2 months. Right? So 1983, it was a really important year for me, probably you guys. The year somebody turns, 18, they make that transition from childhood to adulthood. It's generally a pretty important year for them. For me, it was, that's me. It's a pretty important year for somebody in their life when they make that transition into adulthood. For me, it was punctuated by my family moving from Annandale to Europe a few short weeks after graduation. But what was going on in 1983 for the rest of the world? Was it as significant for everybody else that wasn't graduating from high school? I mean, we didn't have these things, right? And
Nope.
Thank God. I might be in prison today. But did you know that 1983 was the year that Motorola introduced the first to the public the first mobile phones? They were nicknamed the Brick. Yeah, and that phone, they didn't qualify as carry-on luggage for Southwest Airlines. They were too big.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we also didn't have computers in 1983, obviously. I had to handwrite all of my papers and then take a typewriter and type them all out. Sam Parker and I used to go to his dad's office late at night because they had those high-tech IBM typewriters that had a correction function button. You didn't have to use liquid paper or correction tape when you made a mistake. So we didn't
Seriously.
get our computers for another 8 to 10 years. I didn't think that typing class I took as a sophomore was going to be so handy with decades to come. But like I said, we weren't going to get computers for another decade. But did you know, I just learned this when I was preparing for this, that the birth of the internet is officially recognized as January 1st, 1983.
Really?
Yeah, kind of interesting. So also in 1983, compact discs were first released in the US, which would replace the cassette and vinyl records as our main source of music listening pleasure, until of course the millennials started listening to vinyl again and got all retro on us. And you listen to compact discs today, right? Aren't you playing compact discs, Scott? Oh no, there must be a new format I haven't heard about. So it seems like 1983 had a pretty significant impact on the world, other than us just graduating from high school. Incidentally, gas prices in 1983 was averaged in the U.S. as $1.16 a gallon, which it doesn't sound like a big difference for you guys, because you guys would pay $3.50 out here. I paid $6.30 before I left LA.
Oh my God.
It cost me $80 to fill up my tank. Can you imagine doing it for $20 back in 1883? That would be awesome. Oh, and movie tickets cost $3.50. Talk about a cheap date. So we've come a long way since 1983. It's nice to have all you guys out here. I appreciate everybody who took the time from their busy lives to make it out here, make the trek from Herndon or Richmond or wherever y'all came. I traveled 3,000 miles, but I'm not trying to get a badge or anything. But it's a good thing we all came out. I'm glad everybody came. I would have liked to have seen a little bigger crowd, but we work with what we get. That's okay. I was amazed at the 20th reunion how many people were able to make it out to that one, and I was really shocked at the conversations and the turnout that we had, at people that I was able to talk to after not talking to them for 20 years. It was a really, really shocking event. I really had a great time. So I've had some great conversations over the last couple of days too. So I'm really happy to see so many people I prefer not to see. I can't avoid it. I had to see Adrian's. I do want to take a minute, and I hope you'll join me in thanking all those who took the time. So this started. Hold on. I'm going to announce them by name. Some of this started 2 years ago. So the committee that put this all together for you. Are you mostly sitting in one spot? No, I don't think you are.
We're everywhere.
So we have Lee Mullins, Deja Smogler, Jeff McWirt, Maria Mano, Kim Hurd, Carolyn White-Scarver, Nita Lantane, there she is, and am I missing somebody?
Tracy.
Phil Lester.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, Phil Lester.
Who was I missing?
Tracy Martin.
Well, Tracy, I'm getting to her in a minute.
Okay.
She hasn't shown up, has she?
Where is she?
I don't know. She hasn't made it
That's
yet.
odd.
She's still not here. Anyway, let's take a moment and is she really? I was actually just about to announce Tracy and her husband Chris were so gracious to sponsor our DJ Scott Mayhew. So let's give that a round of applause. And you might recognize Scott's last name because he's the older brother of Jack Mayhew, our classmate. So yes, thank you very much for everybody who put in all that work. And now I would also like to point out that our bartender back there, Juan, is working very hard for you tonight. So please take good care of him. Juan, you still with us? He's working his ass off, so please. I see a lot of ones in that jar. Let's make those 10s and 20s, please. All right, so I know that I went around and tried to get some people to volunteer because nobody was doing it on their own. During dinner, which is going to start right after I'm done in a few minutes, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to take the mic and just stand up and say hi and tell us who you are in case we don't recognize you. And tell us what you've been up to for the last 40 years if you want. Share a story from Annandale if you like. Anything you want to say. It would be nice just to hear your voice. And you may not get a chance to talk to everybody, so it would be nice to be able to see who you are. And just take the mic. It's not that bad. I promise you won't die. And share a little bit about yourself with us or whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to say something about somebody who wasn't able to be here tonight. And like Jamie, you might want to say something about Linda. Where's Jamie? You might want to just stand up and say something about Linda. I don't know. I was grateful to meet Linda's parents down in the lobby earlier. We had a nice conversation. So that is going to happen. We're going to eat dinner. After dinner, we're going to have some 1983 or 1980s trivia. There's buzzers on your table that are. You can personalize those buzzers if you want to take the time to do that during dinner. So ask Maria how to do that because I'm not sure how. But you can personalize. The only rule is you cannot use your phone to ask Jeeves for the answer on the trivia. All right? No asking Jeeves for the answer. And then after that, we're going to listen to some music. If anybody feels like dancing, we'll do that. And if anybody feels like singing karaoke, we're going to have that available too. So, all right. Somebody likes the karaoke. Very good. So that's all I have to say. I think we're ready for dinner now. It's a buffet, so you're going to serve yourself. Thanks for your attention and